All right, we're back on part three. So Thom used to talk to me a lot about camping and my son. He loved my son Thom, the one that passed away, and used to talk to him a lot about camping because Thom used to do a lot of solo camping even as a kid, teenager. So one day we got talking about the camps. And he told me, he said, when I was a kid, he said we never had these modern day tents and stuff. He said we used to just take a tarp, big canvas tarp that you would cover tractors and stuff with. And he said, we'd pitch it so that the point was in the air. Well, now we know it as a plow point, but he told them how to pitch it so that you go corner to corner, stake out the corners, and it'd be in the air, and it's that's what they would use. Or they'd pitch it in an A-frame, but canvas, not nylon. And his backpack was the same way. His backpack was a small little canvas sack. It's what we would consider a day pack. He had a metal canteen. It looked like it was Civil War issue, but I'm not sure. But he had a metal canteen and a little backpack, and he carried a haversack with him. And the haversack held most of your day's supplies. And he explained that whole thing. On his belt, he had some belt loops. He had a hunting belt, which he said is something every man should have. But you never do anything with your hunting belt except take it off, put it in the closet, and treat it after hunting season. Because on a hunting belt, you would have your bullets, you would have your knife, you would also have a bag on there with the strike-alike kit and different little odds and ends. What's a strike-alike kit? What are you, stupid? No. A strike-alike kit is a fire kit. In Thom's day, you had a match safe. And he said later on that when they got cigarette lighters, they thought they were in seventh heaven. But it's Thom's strike-alike kit, which was right out of the 1920s, was a flint and steel and char cloth and whatnot in there. Well, he called it rub cloth. I didn't know what that was until recently. Rub cloth is you take black powder and you rub it into a piece of cloth. So anyway, he had rub cloth in there. He had a flint and steel, a match case with strike anywhere matches that were probably older to be at the time. See if I can remember what else is in there. Oh yeah, on the bottom he had a bundle of some kind of dry grass and birch bark and whatnot. And this is everything you needed to make a fire for overnight. That stayed on your belt constantly. When hunting season was over, you replenished what you didn't use, or what you used, I should say. You treated your leather with mink oil or beaver oil, and you cleaned your rifle and rubbed your rifle down. You rubbed some fat into the stock and onto the barrel, and protected the gun and your knife. You cleaned your knife up and oiled that, greased it, put it back in the sheath. Everything got taken care of, put back, and it got hung, not stored, but hung. And it stayed there until you needed to go hunting again. As far as guns, what I talked to Thom about, hunting, he was mostly a fisherman, but when he get going about hunting, he had that 45-70 that he hunted deer with. He had a 22 single shot that he hunted small game with. And when we got talking about the 22, it turned out to be one of the original Stevens crack shots he bought right after World War II because they never really hunted small game except rabbits. And so he wanted to try this 22 thing, and he bought it right after World War II. And he said it was the best little gun in the world. So if he got talking about ammunition, which was a subject one day, of course he had his 45-70. He had a 12 gauge L.C. Smith. That's what it was. That was his father's that he hunted rabbits with. And you hunted small game and stuff with a shotgun, large game with a rifle, and you only needed two guns. You needed a shotgun, you needed a rifle, and he had a pistol because he liked to carry a pistol with him. So it was interesting hearing about stuff like this and the calibers and stuff. But when we got around to 22s, because I'm a big fan of the 22, when we got around to 22s, his crack shot 22 shorts, not 22 long rifles. And that's what he hunted the last years of his life for small game with, was a 22 short. He said to me, hunting is for food. Hunting's not anything else. And he said, you don't take shots at game that's so far away you can barely see him. Same thing with big game and everything else. When you took a shot at a deer or whatever, you made sure he was in enough yardage where you got him. Made sense. So moving on through the course of time, the future fishermen's programs and everything, Thom got sick. I think it was 94 when he died. Thom got sick and passed away on us. And oddly enough, when he passed away, his lifelong work of the Future Fishermen's Program passed along with him. That burned down. And Thom's wife got put in a nursing home where Thom was. And I bet Betsy passed away not too much after, maybe a year or two after. And that was about it. But boy, what a character. I'll never forget my days of talking with Thom Rivell. I even had the privilege to fish with him for, well, a couple of minutes, because he told me straight up he was too old to toss a fly rod that much. But we walked down to the creek one day and he showed me how to roll cast in small creeks. And so he caught himself a nice trout that he took home for him and his wife for dinner. And that was a privilege. It was a very, very big honor knowing Thom and all these woodsmen. So, as all good things, Thom passed away. And, people's legacies die with them when they pass away. They can't go on any farther making any more. But for people who have the knowledge, and for you guys out there too, if you have knowledge of these old woodsmen, pass it along on your YouTube channels or something. Make their memory known, because that's a part of history that you experienced. And for as much as these people have lived in times that we would have loved to live, they need to be remembered and not forgotten. So with that, I say adieu to Mr. Thom Rivell. And this will be the third character we covered. And we got two more. We got a gentleman by the name of Mitch. And believe it or not, his last name was Ryder. And another gentleman by the name of Joe. So we will see you guys on the next one. Hope you're enjoying these stories. Let me know. See you later.